Hello student. So today we will start with a new module, that is the introduction to traffic engineering. Means what are this is one of the important segment of the transportation engineering sector, and the traffic engineering is one of the component of transportation engineering. So what we'll discuss in the traffic engineering under the subject of transportation engineering. So let me introduce myself. Dr. Debasish. I am Assistant Professor, Civil Engineering Department of JIS College of Engineering. Here is my contact details and email ID is given. So for any query, you can contact me to the given contact details. So first discussed with the what are the various type of traffics. So when we are talking about the traffic, so traffics are basically two types. One is motorized traffic, another is non-motorized traffic. So in motorized traffic, you know the various types of vehicles are there, like your two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, buses, trucks. Those are some motorized traffic, and non-motorized traffic is the pedestrian traffic, or the cycle rickshaw, or the cycle, or the pedal rickshaw. So these are some non-motorized traffic. So what are the various type of traffic characteristics? So the traffic characteristics is divided by the road user characteristics and the vehicular characteristics. Road user characteristics means who are using these roads. So who are using these roads? So if we raise this question in our mind, so basically there are various type of users are there who are using the roads. Using the roads in the users means in terms of mode. So if we go talking about the mode, then it is a various motorized traffic. Suppose there are two-wheeler, there are four-wheeler, there are three-wheeler, there are bus, there are truck, there are tractor, semi-tractor, trailer tractor. There are various type of road users are there. Now if we're talking about the human being, then we are the users, we are the human being are the users of the roads. So based on the type of the user, it is the traffic is characterized. Next, the vehicle characteristics. Vehicle characteristics means there are two types of vehicle characteristics are there. One is static characteristics, another is dynamic characteristics. So if we talking about the static characteristics of the vehicle, then definitely it will be dimension, it will the length, weight, height, the clear cover. Those are some static, means which are not changing from time to time. These are some fixed. Another is dynamic. So what are the dynamic characteristics? Dynamic characteristics are speed, then volume, then power, then engine capacity, horsepower, power to weight ratio, which may changes from time to time. So these are some vehicular characteristics. So now if we go into the traffic studies, so the name of the various studies and uses we will discuss, and the few thing about the accident studies. Next, the thing will come in the traffic studies are the traffic regulations, traffic control devices, then the sign, traffic signal, traffic marking, traffic island, intersection, parking facilities. These all things are covered under this traffic engineering. So the road users are basically the characteristics of the road users are physical characteristics, the psychological characteristics, and the environmental characteristics. So if we are talking about the physical, means what are the physical features are used while moving in the road. One is your vision, means your ability to see, ability to visualize. That is the hearing, your ability to hearing when someone applying the horn, which side I should move, or how I can give pathway to that driver. That are depends on the your hearing, and the strength is the ability to walk and the ability to run. That is the strength of your body. Next, the another segment of the physical are the reaction time. That will be discussed as a PIV theory. We will cover it in details with some mathematical example. What is PIV theory? So for the time being, you just learn that the PIV is the full form of the PIV is the P for perception, I for intellection, E for emotion, and V for volition. means the total combination of the thing. Means suppose one vehicle is coming in, is moving on the road, and suddenly a few distance ahead, the driver sees some object are there which hinders the movement of the vehicle. So the driver need to take a decision whether I should stop the vehicle, or I should bypass the object, or I should run over the thing. So there are various type of things came in the driver's mind. Now what decision the driver will take, that is the one of the very important issue. Now that this thing, this phenomena is that they can, the same driver can take different decision at the different time and the different location, because it is some mental condition on the driver, and based on that condition they take some decision. So it is not the universal truth that the driver will take the same decision at each time at the each location. No. So the PIV theory is basically varies from person to person, varies from time to time, and varies from places to places. Okay, so the it is basically termed as the reaction time, and in general the reaction time is considered as the 2.5 to 3.5 seconds. The next characteristics of the road users is the psychological characteristics. Psychological characteristics is itself a part of this PIV theory. Okay, means based on the psychological factor, the driver should take some decision. So this is one of the psychological characteristics, the what decision a driver should take. Or you have heard the term of the rash driving or the harsh driving. Why? Because of it may be due to some anger, due to some frustration, the driver got out of control, and the accident happens. So these are the some characteristics of the psychological characteristics of the road users. And the last one is the environmental characteristics. Environmental means where we have no control. It is the unique of its own kind. Okay, so but this one is one of the vital characteristics of the road users. We have a plan to go for a picnic. The day is very sunny day, but suddenly there is a thunderstorm. The raining is coming. So the environment itself spoil our day. So we cannot predict the thing, but yes, it has a very deep impact on the road users characteristics. So in environmental, the roadside features, the atmospheric conditions, these are the some environmental conditions. So this is the PIV theory. As I said, the P for EP is for perception time. What is perception time? The time required to perceive an object. Means what object is it? Whether it is some stray animal, whether it is some your objects like anything, object like anything, whether it is a part of the tree. So it may be. First we have to perceive the what object it is actually. Then the intellection time, time required for the driver to understand the situation. Means first they have to identify the object, second is to understand the situation. First, say suppose there is a stray animal, so first thing I identify it is stray animal. Second thing is that why this stray animal is here, is there any other stray animal around this stray animal, or where from where it may came, or whether it is alive or not. So there are various situation came in mind. So these are the various type of situation we need to be thinking. Next is the emotion time. Emotion time is the time elapsed during the emotional sensation, fear, anger, shocking. Okay, so suddenly I see a huge rhino in the road and I'm scared. So no, that is the emotion. But yes, you have to take a decision whether you back your vehicle, or you can bypass the rhino, or you can stop until the rhino moves on this road. So there are various type of emotional things act during this the phenomena. And finally is the violation. Sorry, volition. Volition means the action taken time. Now it time to take some action to based on the situation. So the time taken by the driver for the final action, whether I should apply the brake or whether I should accelerate my brake. So the total reaction time is 0.5 second to 3 to 4 seconds. Say it is in the, it is average is, as I said, that it is average is 2.5 seconds. Now the vehicular characteristics, as I said that vehicular characteristics are two types. One is static characteristics, another is dynamic characteristics. So the vehicle dimension, turning angle, weight of the loaded vehicles, these all are the standard or the constant term. You cannot, this cannot be changes from time to time, place to place, based on the geometric feature of the road, or the based on the other factor of the traffic aspect. But the dynamic characteristic is the power of the vehicle, speed of the vehicle, braking characteristic, acceleration, deceleration. This everything will be changed based on the time to time, based on the geometric design. Because suppose if there is a the traffic volume is less, then I will not drive in a low speed. I will definitely raise my speed, or I'll be in a I sometime I go to some rush driving. Okay, so it means if there is a low volume, then I can increase my speed up to certain limit. But after, if the volume is very high, then we cannot increase our speed. Then we have to apply our brake. So this is totally depend on that situation of that particular area. So the vehicle dimension in static condition. So in static characteristic, the width of the traffic lane, the shoulder, parking facilities, capacity of the road, the design of the vertical and the horizontal alignment, extra width of the pavement, safe overtaking distance. These are the some length and width of the vehicle. Means the dependence on the length and the width of the vehicles. On the height, based on the height of the vehicles, the clearance to be provided under the structures such as bridges, tunnels, electric line, then your phone connection, land phone connection. So these things need to be kept in our mind. So the maximum dimension, these are some given by some IRC method, that these are the standard width or standard height and the standard length of the vehicle based on its characteristics or based on its types. So it is not that the width and the length and the height is unique for all type of vehicle. No, no, this is in general, because when you are going to outside, you can find a two-wheeler, and you can beside that three-wheeler you can also find some trailer or the semi trailer. So you can, I predict that the dimension is totally different of a two wheeler and the four wheeler, or the two wheeler with a three wheeler, or the three wheeler or the four wheeler. So how, what should be, or can I increase the length as per my wish? No, there are some guidelines are there which are given by the IRC. So as per IRC, the dimension of the vehicle in terms of width, the for the all vehicles it is 2.5 meter. So the width is standard for all types of vehicles. For height, a single deck vehicle for normal application it is 3.8 meter. For double deck vehicle it is 4.75 meter. And there is a different type of length for the different types of the vehicle, and these are given by the IRC. Now what are the single unit truck with two or more axle, the type 2, type 3? These are shown in next slide with some schematic diagram. So these are the few type of the vehicles, the type 2, type 3, semi type, the type 2 3s, or the type S1 3s1. These are the various types of the vehicle, and based on the type of the vehicle, the dimension means the length is also different. Then weight of the loaded vehicles, it affects the design of the pavement thickness and the gradient. IOC recommended maximum permissible gross weight and the axle of the weight. So this is also suggested by the IOC. Next is the power of the vehicles. So governs the limiting value and the gradient on the roads. Consider the total resistance of the traction, rolling resistance, air and grade resistance. From total hauling capacity, speed and acceleration of the vehicles is determined. Now the speed of the vehicles, it is some dynamic characteristics. As I said, the speed is changing from time to time, from place to place, based on the volume, based on the capacity, and based on the traffic concentration. So what are the speed of the vehicle? So it affects the design of the side distance, it affects the super elevation, the length of the transition curve, the design gradient, the capacity of the traffic lane, and design of the control measures. Next is the braking characteristics and the efficiency. So de-acceleration and braking characteristics, safety of the operation, side distance, spacing of the braking efficiency to be 100%. The braking efficiency should be 100%. If the braking efficiency will be less, then there will be chances of accident. Definitely, if I cannot apply the brake when I record, then there will be chances of the accident. So to avoid the thing, we need the brake should be properly applied when as and when required. So if we're talking about the traffic studies, that what are the things we need to study in the traffic, because today is the very beginning classes. This is basically the introduction of your traffic engineering. So in this traffic studies, basically we will learn the traffic volume, the spot speed, the speed and delay, the origin and destination, the parking and the accident. Apart from this, there are intersections are there. There is a traffic sign and signals are there. These are the few. Apart from this important, there are also some supporting topics are there. So in traffic volume studies, what will we study? So from the term itself, you can identify the meaning. So volume means what is the total traffic volume? Measures the quantity of the traffic flow. Means quantity means how many number of vehicles are there. Number of vehicles passing across a given traverse line on the road during the unit time, expressed as number of the vehicles per hour per day. Classified traffic volume as the volume each vehicle's classes separately. Level of measurements of the traffic volume, hourly flow, annual average daily traffic AADT, and average annual flow, that is vehicle per hour. So these are some units of the traffic volume. Now methods. What are the various methods in the traffic? So there are various methods. Some is manual, some is automated. So in manual, number of observers needed, equipment needed, the stopwatch, pencil, eraser, sharpener, data sheet, clipboard, and the field summary sheet. And in automated, there are sensor, pneumatic tube, electric contacts, then your coaxial cables, photoelectric devices, radar, infrared, magnetic device, recording, video recorder. These are some automated. These are some instrumented. You need some automated traffic volume count. So we will discuss in detail with some schematic diagram what these things are actually. So these are the traffic volume count. You can see that this is a manual auto traffic volume count. So this is, we have to record that how many number of vehicles are taking right direction, how many vehicles are taking going to straight, how many vehicles are taking left direction. So this thing needed to be calculated or needed to be considered during our traffic volume study. So you can see in the right direction two persons are sitting, one person is writing, another person is giving instruction, or two person may be involved for counting for different types of the vehicle. So based on that modes, the number of surveyor will be more, because if suppose there are 10 types of mode, we have to do the calculation for individual type of the vehicle, individual mode of the vehicle, and in that case the number of the surveyor is needed to be more. Though it is extensive, because we need it is very laborious. The more number of surveyors are required, but it gives a very effective output. Next is the automated traffic volume count. It is basically sensor time. Whenever some vehicles are moving or passes by this instrument, it records the data, including the types or the modes, which are what type of mode is moving by this, using this some sensor. So these are some tube you can see in the left picture. In your left picture you can find there are some tube overlying the road, and whenever some vehicles are passing, based on the area covered, based on the weight of that particular vehicle, this instrument sensor the what type of vehicles are moving, and how many vehicles are moving throughout the day of that particular type of the vehicle. Next is the traffic speed studies. In traffic speed studies, basically the change in the speed of the vehicles and the change in the level of service, because if the speed will be less, then the level of service means the quality of the service. The quality of the service will also be reduced. So the level of service is basically six categories: LOSA, LOSB, LOSC, LOSD, LOSE, and LOSF. LOSF is the lowest grade, and LOSA is the best grade of the level of service category. So the speed is basically, when we are talking about the speed of the traffic, so we basically talking about the spot speed, means the speed at that particular spot. So this spot speed is one of the vital and one of the important segment of the speed study. So what does it mean? So the instantaneous speed of the vehicle at a specific location, at a particular position, the what will be the speed, that is called the spot speed. Next is the method of measuring the time taken to cover the known distance, long base method and short base method. Then the radar speed method and the photographic method. The data presented as the cumulative speed distribution diagram. Next is the speed and the delay studies. Speed and the delay studies is what? The running speed, fluctuation in speed, or the overall travel speed. Say suppose from point 1 to point B, the standard standard time of the movement is suppose 10 minutes. 10 minutes, but one day I found that it takes 12 minutes. So there is a delay of 2 minutes. So why this delay occurs, why this fluctuation of the speed occurs? Whether that day the traffic volume is very high, that is why I need to reduce my speed, or that day there might be some events are there on that particular street, so that the sudden jam is creating on that particular street, that's why I am delayed by 2 minutes. So there are various possibilities of the delay. So what are the possibilities? How we can measure the delay? How we can, if the delay is a continuous basis, how we can overcome the delay, or how we can reduce this delay time? That thing is covered in that particular topic, that is the speed and the delay studies. So the means what are the various locations of the delay? So basically delays are generally occurs at the intersection. So what is intersection? Intersection is basically a point where two or the more number of road are meeting at the same elevation or at a different elevation. So if the two or more number of roads are meeting at a elevation, then it is called a at grade intersection. And if the two or more number of roads are meeting at a different elevation, then it is called the grade separated intersection. Means the gradients are separated to each other. That is why it is known as the grade separated. So basically, so we will not discuss in details about the intersection. When we will discuss, there will be separate class for the intersection, and on that day I will discuss details about the intersection, the various type of intersection. So today we will just give you an idea. So basically the delays are occurred at the intersection, at the point of the junction. So what are the measuring method of the delay? So that is the floating car method, there are license plate method, there are interview techniques, elevated observation, and the photographic techniques. So what is floating car method? So it is the terms itself very interesting. Floating car means it floats something. The first thing came in your mind that one vehicle is floating in the road, but no, nothing like that. So floating car method is basically float means to go with the flow. The float means to go with the flow. Go with the flow means we have to go with the direction of the flow, or the direction of the traffic flow. So how they measure? So for that we need a several number of the surveyors in the same vehicle. So the first surveyor will hold two stopwatch in their two hands. So in their first stopwatch, they will record the start time and the end time of entering and leaving a particular intersection. And the right stopwatch, they will record the total duration of the entering a intersection or leaving an intersection. The second person, the second surveyor, will observe that the point of delay, or the location of the delay, and the possible reasons for occurring this delay. The third surveyors will record that how many number of vehicles overtaken my vehicle, and how many number of vehicles I am overtaking. Okay. And the fourth surveyor will record that how many number of vehicles are coming from the opposite direction, means from the opposite lane or the opposite direction. That is known, this whole phenomena is known as the floating car method. So excluding the driver, there must be minimum four number of surveyors are there, and with the coordination with all, with the help and the coordination with all these surveyor, we can record the various possibilities of the delay. Now the license plate method. From the license plate method, we can find out the delays. So say suppose one vehicle, so there are two points on the same road, and one is at entry point, another it's say suppose at exit point. So suppose at the entry point I marked the registration number of a particular number plate of a particular vehicle. On the exit point Another surveyor are there, they noting down all the number which are leaving that intersection. So at the end of the day, when these two surveyor are set together for the calculation, they see this, suppose for X number license number vehicles entering a particular intersection on a particular day at 9:30 a.m. and leaving that particular stretch of the road at 9:35. So it takes 5 minutes of the time. So if I see that the maximum day it takes 5 minutes, and in some days that this particular vehicles take 6 minutes. So that means that there is a delay of the 1 minute. So based on that, we can find out the delay by considering the license plate of various type of the vehicle. Next is the interview technique. Interview technique, we directly ask the few questions. We first prepare some data sheet or some questionnaire sheet, and we will give it to the driver, to the user to fill it up, so that they can give their feedback. Okay, this today I am delayed by 5 minutes, and these are the possible reasons, and these are the possible points where the delay is occurred. These are the particular junctions or particular intersection or the location at this point the delay is occurred. So based on that, we get some idea about the delay of the vehicles and the locations of the delay and the total duration of the delay. Next is the elevated observation. So this is elevated observation means we need to fix some videographic camera at some elevation of the road to measure the traffic, to look after the traffic movement, that at which time of a day the traffic volume is more, the delay is occurred. And finally the photographic, this is basically still photography. We click using some of our devices with some camera, and from that we calculate the delay. This is the O&D survey, that is origin and destination. O for origin and D for destination studies. So this O&D survey is basically required to find out the desired line. Say suppose from point A to I am at point A. I am at point A because I am at residence area. I want to go to my office at point B. So to reach from point B from point A, say suppose there are four alternative routes are there. Which route I am going to select, and what are the reasons for that I am going to select that route. Say suppose there are P, Q, R, S, four number of routes are there. So which route I am going to select among the P, Q, R, S. So say suppose I am selecting the R. Now I have to give a proper justification why I am selecting R. Say suppose from A to B, if I take the route P, it takes 10 minutes. In Q it takes 15 minutes, in R it takes 13 minutes, in S it takes 14 minutes, but still I am taking R, I am not taking P. Okay, I am not taking P. Now the thing is that why, if though the P is taking less time, still I am going to R, because the road condition may be not good, maybe not good in that P. That is why the journey is not comfortable. Though the road is comparatively vacant, the road is empty. There will not be a chances of traffic jam. Still we take the road of the R. So these are the reasons. These are the reasons we opted for the different type of the road. So next, so this is the main objective of the O&D survey, means to find the desired lines, means what are the alternative, or what are the possible alternatives, best possible alternative to move from one direction to the another direction. So the method of conducting, there are roadside interview, there are license plate, there are written postcard, tag on car method, home interview method, work spot interview method, and presentation of the data. We present the data by showing the number of trips between different zone, and desired lines are plotted contacting origin and destination. So you can see that suppose this one is my origin, and these are some destination. So these are some alternate route, and I have to take the best possible alternative route. Next we will discuss few things about the accident studies, because I will not go in details, because this thing will be discussed in details in separate classes. So the objective of the accident studies is to study the causes of the accident and to suggest the corrective treatment at the potential locations. Next is to evaluate the existing designs, regulations and control measures, to carry out before and after studies after the implementing changes, to make computation of the financial losses due to accident, and to provide the economic justification for improvement measure by suggested by the engineer. So these are the various causes. So the accident may occur due to various reasons. It may be the drivers, it may be the pedestrian, it may be the passenger, it may be the vehicle defect, maybe the road condition. So there are various types of parameters are there which are responsible for our road accident. So these are also the weather, animals, the traffic condition. These all are the some factors are responsible for accident. So this is collision diagram. By this diagram, we present the what is the collision condition of that particular area. This is the sample collision diagram. As I said that I will not go in details about this. We will discuss in another classes in details about the condition diagram, collision diagram. This is the condition diagram, means the what are the condition after the accident. Collision means what is the scenario during the collision, what may be the, so basically collision diagram is basically the blueprint of that particular duration when the accident occurs, and condition diagram means after accident what is the condition of the road. So these are the some sample statistics of the accident. So this is the accident reduction measure, that the accident can be there are engineering measures are there are enforcement measures are there, and educational measures are there. So this is all about our today's class. So basically we give you some introduction about the so basically we are giving you some flavor of the traffic engineering, that sorry, what we are going to study in future, what are the various topics are we are going to cover in our next classes. So so if we summarize, so basically the things are that there are various type of traffic and the transportation engineering are concept are components are there. So we are giving some brief about the all component. So in the from the next classes we will take one topic or the one component and we will discuss in details. So if you have any query regarding this topic, regarding this lecture, my contact ID is given. So you can reach me to that contact details. So till the next class, thank you to all for listening this lecture. Thank you.